Hey guys, I just wanted to answer some questions that have been coming into our office about insurance specifically business insurance. So one of the questions that keeps coming in is, do I have business interruption coverage for the coronavirus? So there's a lot of factors that go into this. The short answer is unfortunately no. And I'm just going to shoot straight with you. We can beat around the bush, but that's the reality of the situation that we're in, and that's the reality of the insurance policy. If you have a property policy with us, with business interruption, or with anybody with business interruption coverage, it only covers the loss of income if there is damage to your building, all right? There is some governmental authority coverage on some policies, very few. Mind you, very few. Maybe 5% of the policies will have an endorsement for governmental authority coverage, which would be an evacuation. But even in that, there's still an exclusion for viruses. So if you were to read an insurance policy today, right now, any insurance policy, it's going to pretty much exclude mandatory evacuation. We had the same thing that happened with Harvey and Ike and some of those other hurricanes where, businesses had to shut down and mandatorily evacuate. And if you guys remember, there was no insurance for the actual evacuation and closing your business. So that is the real reality that we are faced with today. So that was the first question, is there coverage if my business shuts down? No, our hopes is that you can continue operating in some form or fashion. But unfortunately, our entire economy is going to be affected by this, and it just isn't something that insurance is designed to respond to. The next question is, do I have coverage if my employee contracts the coronavirus? Is that workers' comp? So the short answer to that is no. I want you to think about it like the flu. I know this is more serious than the flu, and I'm not trying to diminish what we're dealing with. But if your staff got sick and got a stomach virus and you had to close your doors because everybody was sick with the stomach virus or with the flu, there would not be any insurance coverage for that, and your workers' comp would not be triggered for that. So for it to be an occupational disease, it has to be within the course and scope of their job. Right? So if it's not in course and scope, meaning it wasn't contracted from the work that they're doing, that they are doing for you, that you are benefiting from, that puts them at risk, then there's definitely not going to be any coverage. There may be some exceptions for the healthcare industry where they are forced to work in that environment where they are more susceptible to it, or they're working with patients that do have the disease. There may be some coverage there, but it's still going to be state by state. You guys got to remember that insurance is regulated state by state, not federally, and it's still going to be a court case, every single one of them. So this could drag out for God knows how long, but it's not going to be a workers' comp trigger. And that's a good and a bad thing. You're not going to have a workers' comp claim, but you also, I'm sure, are just as concerned for your employees as we are for ours. So just know that is the real deal with that. On workers' comp, it also has to be a condition peculiar to their work. So again, the medical field where they're dealing with that virus is different than most of our clients in the construction industry where you're not. If you have an employee that comes in and gets everybody sick and they don't know, are you liable? No. It's no different than the flu. Another question that we are being asked a lot is, what happens if my supplier shuts down for the coronavirus and I'm not able to continue work because of my supplier not having it, or I can't sell product or whatever? Short answer again is no. Unfortunately, that's still not what an insurance policy is designed to cover. So a property policy, again, is only going to cover the physical damage to the piece of property. It's the same concept for dependent properties. Again, that's a special endorsement that a lot of businesses don't purchase because they don't necessarily see the need. And it's not going to cover a situation like this. So where there would have been coverage is, let's say a building catches on fire and the whole manufacturing facility burns up and there's no product to ship and you lose business because of that. If you did have dependent business interruption coverage, it would cover that. But not they had to shut down because everybody in their company is sick or they're worried about them getting sick. So another question that keeps coming up is retail and restaurant operations. What happens if I have an employee who doesn't know they're sick and we have a customer that comes in and they get the coronavirus and then they sue us? Well, short answer is we have no idea. It's going to depend on the courts. It's going to depend on the liability situation. But here's how liability insurance works. You have a duty owed, you have a duty breached, and it is proved that you were negligent in that duty. So if President Trump or the governor mandated that businesses shut down and you stayed open and then someone came into your premises and did get sick, you could be liable for that because you had a duty owed to shut your businesses down and you didn't. Like a reasonably prudent person would have done. So how liability works is if a reasonably prudent person would have done that and you didn't, then yes, there could be negligence. Yes, you could get sued. Yes, your insurance could be triggered. What we don't want to do is mislead you into thinking that there's coverage for something there isn't, because it's a hard conversation to have. It's not fun to say, you don't have insurance for this. Just like a lot of people didn't have flood insurance. There's not an insurance policy designed for this. So now the state has issued an endorsement, but still not approved. And there's not an insurance company on the planet that's going to go back and go, oh yeah, I'm going to go ahead and give you coverage for something that I know you're going to have a loss on. That's just not prudent on an insurance company side. So it's all going to depend on what the government does. If that helps us out as businesses, I hate to say that, but we as business owners have to be prudent in our own businesses, save for a rainy day, and we all gotta suit up, show up, and do the best we can with what we have right now. So guys, we are sincerely here for you and we want to help you in any way that we can. The key is we all just need to stay informed. We need to band together, not panic. Help our employees not to panic and just reassure them that it's gonna be okay. Check out our website. There will be lots of information updated on that, and we'll give you some links to some other websites that will keep you informed as well. In the midst of things like this, the best thing to do is to choose joy. I promise you, in every single hardship, there is always a silver lining, and we will all get through this together. Thank you.